Why should someone come in and work with net revenue? Where are we going, and what's in it for them?
I mean, it's going to sound tacky because I feel like every company believes that they're going to be a billion-dollar company. I think the difference with us is that we've formulated a roadmap surrounding how we're actually going to get there. So, without a shadow of a doubt, we will most certainly be a billion-dollar company. I have always been a man of my word. In every facet of life, when I've ever told you something, have I always made it come to fruition?
100%.
In 100% of cases. So I know I have the track record to myself, and when I've committed to something, I'm going to do everything within my power that we arrive at that destination. Now, how does that benefit individuals coming into the organization? You have to look at it as such. If you could be early to any great company, knowing how difficult it is to build a company and how difficult it is to do it right and do it with integrity and do it with a strong mission. When we look at what the premise of our company does, it's get real education into people's hands. Will that grow and evolve? And will that turn into something more in the future, like we've organized within the roadmap? Of course. We want to start to merge into private equity. We're starting to accumulate portfolio companies. We're starting to take more equity in companies. We also have enough capital now that we're launching our own projects, both in the SaaS and AI space. But everyone's doing that. How do we differ? It really boils down to our culture. It's not just one or two players moving the needle every single day. The culture that we attract ultimately brings forth individuals who could run a business independently by themselves. And when you start bringing all those people into a company where they're highly educated, they're highly motivated, they're highly disciplined, they have the right systems and processes, they have the right opportunities, there's no way that they don't achieve success here at Net Revenue.
Yeah.
So it's just our job as the leaders of the company to position them in the right vehicle, in the right role to ensure their success. Because the success, at least in my perspective, is inevitable. What's not so inevitable for a lot of people is, are they willing to outlast most of the people that aren't willing to grow and learn and be consistent on a long enough time horizon? So that we're going to be a billion-dollar company. There's no question.
How would you describe the culture at net revenue?
One of excellence. And is that every single member? No. A lot of people are like, oh, we're like family. We're not like family. Do people like to say we're like family? Sure. I don't view it as we're like family. I view it as we are a group of individuals that have come together to build something truly great, almost like a professional sports team or a tactical unit, not a fucking family. I could have someone that I completely detest and that brings no value in my family, and that's acceptable. When you're playing at a high-level sports team, that's not acceptable. We only appreciate excellence. Yeah. So when someone falls short of that, and we've given them the feedback to improve upon, and we give them guidance, and they still refuse to do the things that we need them to do, when it comes to family, you're stuck with them. When it comes to a high-level sports team, you have to show up, and you have to get the job done, or else you can't remain on the team. And I know, listen, anyone could say that, and we could say, oh, we're a fucking military unit, and we're a sports team, and all of that shenanigans. Yeah. But really, we're just a company. But we're a company that tries to do things right, and we try to model after successful structures that have worked in other areas of life, whether it be military, whether it be professional sports team, whether it be other businesses, and we try to encompass that over here at Net Revenue to promote a culture of excellence, because that leads into everyone else's lives as well. Yeah. It's not just, okay, you do great at work, you make more money. You be a better husband, father, wife, sister, brother, uncle to everyone around you. You operate in abundance. You ultimately have more discipline, so you're able to take care of your health and fitness, your kids. You're able to make more time in the day because you know how to organize your calendar, you know how to structure time management. So it's not just one area that gets affected by you being great at work. Yeah. It's every area. And that's why we promote excellence here at our company.
Yeah, because excellence forces people to continuously learn while delaying their gratification, and as a result, they just end up being better in every area of their life because they're always seeking more from growth, from how they show up
Yeah.
inside business and outside of business, and that reflects every area of their life. I like that. What's one decision that you've had to make that you almost didn't make, but you're extremely happy that you did because the results spoke for themselves?
What's a hard decision I had to make that I'm happy I did?
That you almost didn't make.
I mean, starting a business as a whole. It's like one of the scariest things for most people is uncertainty.
Yeah.
And it's like there is no more uncertainty that you could face than in business. And not everyone's cut out for it. Like I said, you have to sacrifice fucking everything. It's like if you want to be competitive in the marketplace, there's too many people that want what you have. And it's like there's so many brilliant people in business. There's so many hardworking people in business. What distinguishes you from the rest of them is your ability to outlast and endure. So if you can't do that, like you're not going to win. No matter how gifted you are, no matter how intelligent you are, no matter how hardworking, if you can't endure the most psychologically debilitating warfare that you basically have to go through in your mind on a pretty much consistent basis for years, then you're not going to win. So I wasn't going to start a business. I almost didn't. I'm happy I did. But looking back, I wouldn't recommend everyone does it. I know a lot of people have, countering beliefs to this. I mean, you're going to see plenty of people online that say, go start a business.
Yeah.
It's like most business owners that I know make less than most employees or most contractors or fucking certainly less than most salespeople. I think 99% of restaurant owners earn less than, probably some of our lowest earning sales reps.
Yeah.
So it's like everyone wants to be the man, but they don't realize what comes with that.
Why don't you charge sales reps to come work with us?
Because I'm not a scammer.
Beautiful. That was the clip I needed. You live in Florida, but you've traveled a little bit this year. You've gone to Cape Town. You're going to Italy. How do you balance ambition with lifestyle?
Well, I think people assume that because you're in a different location, the work doesn't remain the same. The only thing that changed was the time zone that I was on and the activities that transpired during that time zone. Was I privy to more excursions? Certainly, because they were more accessible. But nonetheless, I showed up. I woke up in the morning at 8 a.m. I went straight to boxing, had breakfast at the exact same restaurant every single morning, egg white omelet. They knew me by name. I didn't even have to order. By the time I walked out of the boxing gym, they were already making my fucking breakfast. And I would get it within 3 to 5 minutes of me sitting down at my chair and without having to order. Espresso on the table, egg white omelet and potatoes. And then I would get that done. Then I would go from there. I would go back to the Airbnb. I would start my day. I'd do whatever menial tasks I had to do for the day when it pertained to like little things to do in the business. Then I would fuck off for like an hour or two, go lie in the sun, go in the pool, relax. And then by that time, it was 4 p.m. That's basically when Eastern time would now start. I have all my meetings till about 8, 9, go to bed and then repeat. Yeah. And then whatever leisure time that I had for extracurricular activities, that was my time to go have wine and go do an excursion, go enjoy life and enjoy my travels. But I was there for a month and a half. You're fucking certain that I was working throughout that entire period of time. And I think most people, they think, oh, I'm outside of my typical environment. I'm not going to be on my diet. I'm not going to do my workouts, and I'm not going to work on my business. And then, yeah, no fucking kidding, your fucking business goes to shit when you travel and then you can't travel. Yeah. It's like, no, you can. You just have to optimize your schedule to remain the same as if you were back home. So I think that's where most people get a little bit confused. But it also helps that I was there for a prolonged period of time so that I didn't have to cram everything that I wanted to do into 1 week.
Yeah. Allows you to build a routine. The people want to know. Does money buy happiness?
Fuck yeah, it buys happiness. Let's assume this. Let's assume that your mother is in the hospital. Our mother, rather. Let's assume that, mommy's cancer came back. We would now be able to get her the best possible doctors, to give her the best possible fighting chance at survival, to keep someone who's incredibly important in our lives. Without money, you can't do that. Without the ability to see someone struggling, and I don't like to put this out there to everyone, but I donate a fuckload to charity. Yeah. I wouldn't be able to give back in whatever way you want to call that, giving back, I assume. I wouldn't be able to give to these charities if I didn't make an exorbitant amount of money. I wouldn't be able to help these causes that I think are incredibly important, and I wouldn't be able to save all my taxes, So it's ultimately, I joke about it, but I think it's incredibly important to have money, because what it allows you to do is it allows you to, one, experience life to the fullest degree. You not being able to take your kids on vacation because you don't make enough fucking money is not happiness. You not being able to have a reliable vehicle that's going to take you from point A to point B and keep you safe and your family safe is not happiness. These things, although they're not the end all be all, certainly with money, you improve your quality of life, which leaves you with less stress, so you could focus on the things that truly matter, which is loving those around you, enjoying life to the best that you possibly can, and ultimately having peace of mind. And that's what it enables you to have. I think the people that say money doesn't buy happiness are looking at the fucking idiots who invest $0. They spend every fucking thing that they have, and they're in constant perpetual stress because they have to live up to a lifestyle. Yeah. It's like, you shouldn't be doing that. No fucking shit. You should be saving the bulk of your money, investing in assets, building your business up to a point, and living well below your means to where you've experienced enough business growth where you're well below your means looks like everyone's fucking dream life. Yeah. And I think that's, once again, relating back to, are you willing to endure? Are you willing to forego, the fruits of your labor, that delayed gratification, and wait till you've established yourself enough to the point where you can get the nice car, you can get the nice house, you can have the nice vacation, you can donate to the charities, you can do everything that you possibly want to do in your life. I think one of the most important perspective shifts that I've ever seen surrounding how you should live life, because I went through a moment in time where I was like, what is the meaning of life? Why are we here? Yes, all the success and business, and we all want to drive nice cars and fucking, virtue signal to everyone and showcase that I'm the most alpha male and X, Y, and Z. But I think when you really break it down, life is just enjoying the passing of time. And funny enough, I think I heard that quote from a fucking comedian. But when I heard it, I don't think a perspective on how life is supposed to be lived resonated with me any more than that quote itself. It's the ability to enjoy the passing of time is all we can conceive. Yeah. That's what you want to do. And money gives you the ability to do that. And it allows you to do it with who you want, when you want, how you want. Yeah. And that's the power of money.
Right. It allows you to delegate the things that you don't want to do so you can spend more of that time with the people that you do love and want to be with.
Yeah.
I like it. This one, I'm more so curious myself. How does it feel to drive a Rolls Royce?
Impeccable. Don't let anyone fucking lie to you. A Mazda drives like shit. So does a Urus. A Rolls Royce, don't get me wrong. The actual driving experience itself is not what's so powerful. It's the symbol that it creates for yourself. Yeah. Where it's oh, you've surpassed the level of oh, I bought a fucking sports car, or I bought a Lamborghini, or I bought a Ferrari. It's you've reached a point of success where it's kind of like buying a Patek for the first time. Okay. It's a symbol to yourself and others that you've transcended even short-term wealth. Yeah. So at least that's my perspective. Of course, It's something that I've always wanted for a long time. You can make the argument that it's stupid and that it's just a status symbol and that ultimately it doesn't matter. My counter argument to that would be maybe you don't make enough money to drive a Rolls Royce and therefore you don't want to live in luxury. And that's totally fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I would say that ultimately it's a great experience. You should experience it. And that's my 2 cents on the matter. I was going to say some more out-of-pocket shit, but...
Well, I think the reality of it is, like, when I drove it on, what was it, Sunday, I don't know, man. Driving that thing and seeing that little spirit of ecstasy is, like, it's something that I don't even know how to describe it. Words can't even describe it. The feeling of opulence that you feel is just immaculate. Like, you feel amazing. It's kind of like, I would relate it to getting a massage. Like, when you come out of a massage, a nice deep tissue massage. Ooh, blah, blah, blah.
Deep tissue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cut it out, boy.
No.
I would relate it to getting a deep tissue massage. When you come out of getting a massage, you have like that feeling of euphoria coming out of the spa. That you feel exactly that same sense of euphoria driving a Rolls Royce. So
I would agree with that.
I don't know. That was like, it blew my mind because I was like, why would someone buy this overpriced big fucking heavy wagon? And then I drove one. So I completely agree with you. What do you say? What's the most controversial opinions you have surrounding business, success, or hustle culture, if you will?
I don't think you need to wake up at 5 a.m. Have you ever seen me wake up at 5 a.m. besides to catch a flight? No. I did at the beginning of business, but I think just bring it back down to first principles. Like, you don't need a fucking infrared sonic cold plunge journal fucking nonsense. Like, just, I wake up in the morning, I roll out of bed, I brush my teeth, take my vitamins for the day, I stroll out, I fucking slap in an espresso pod, I grab a bottle of water, I grab my Zins, I come sit at this very fucking table with my laptop, I slap 15 milligram Zins in my mouth, I slap that coffee straight down my gullet, and I get to work. And it's like, that's pretty much every single day. And then I'll work till the job is done, and then I fuck off. And you do that consistently, and when people call, and when business is knocking at the door, you answer. Yeah. And it's like, you be available, and you make sure that you make time to touch base with your team members. You make sure that you make time to do the non-negotiables, which are make sure you go to the gym, make sure you're reading on a consistent basis, make sure you're educating yourself in whatever capacity that serves you best, podcast. Go on a walk. I do this all the time. Go on a walk, fucking listen to a podcast. You get your steps in, which means you're getting at least a little bit of cardiovascular activity, plus you're also educating yourself at the same time. That's one of the best ways that I educate myself. So podcast, big one. And less so podcasts, but more so audiobooks. So you toss in a good audiobook. Every single book you could possibly imagine on Spotify has the audio version. Toss that in, go for a fucking 45-minute walk. You're set. Now you've educated yourself for the day. You got your steps. You go to the gym. You do your fucking work, and you're good to go. Make sure that you're eating a nice, healthy, balanced, whole food diet. And you do that for fucking 10 years, and you work every day. How are you supposed to lose? Yeah. So, no, it's not fucking... No, as soon as you wake up out of bed, you actually need to do a somersault. Make sure that your cock slaps your forehead. Then you go into the infrared sauna and you do a cold plunge. And then you read 3 pages back to back with 3 different books in front of you simultaneously. And then you fucking worship God knows who. Like, no, just fucking wake up. Go to fucking work. Make sure you get a workout in. If you want to do your workout before your work, sure, that also works. Do whatever the fuck you want. But just get the work done and do the fucking workout and eat healthy. That's it.
What's the difference between doing the job versus getting the job done?
I mean, doing the job is just the bare minimum. It's like, I mean, it's not a very great question if I'm going to be honest, but I'll tell you this. It's just, one is doing the bare minimum, one is exceeding expectations. So just for the sake of the video, I'm going to like answer your question, but it's not a good question.
Fair. Well, I mean, I would have given an example of like in business where you've seen somebody just doing the job versus getting the job done and where that brought them. And like an example of that was when I was doing 30 one-on-one interviews a day, and then you're like, buddy, you're not getting the job done. We need to hire 60 people. And I was only able to hire 30 because I was doing one-on-ones with everyone.
Yeah.
And so that forced me to think, okay, how can I condense that? And ta-da, group interviews. And that was getting the job done because now we were able to hit the quota of how many reps we needed to hire.
I mean, I'm pretty sure like the group interviews was my idea, but
No.
I'll give it to you.
It was actually the Fabuser.
Yeah, well, it was the Fabuser who
said
that who gave that original like that he had done that strategy, and then I was like, no, we're hosting a group interview, and then I made you invite everyone to that group interview, and I completely winged it, and then that became our process.
Yeah.
We actually had some good hires. There's from that group interview that I did, bro. We still have like fucking 4 of the 6 people we hired from that group interview.
Fair. Pretty good. You.
Yeah.
What's something about success or wealth that nobody tells you until you're living it?
How carefree you are. Like everyone thinks that you have all these like worries and cares, and this might be subjective to just myself, but I've reached like actually it's propagated a little bit online of like fuck you money, and I would say I've reached a point where it's like nobody could really tell me anything, nobody could really tell me to do anything. Like anytime anyone ever tells me anything and I disagree with it wholeheartedly and I don't want to do it, it's like fuck you, fuck off.
Yeah.
So it truly is the best possible point that you want to arrive at in life, where it's like you've developed yourself and the business and so on and so forth and your assets and everything that like nobody could really fuck with you. At least not in the sense of like causing you stress and anxiety and so on and so forth. And I still experience that to some capacity, but like the vast majority of my day is carefree. Like I don't worry about finances. I don't worry about anything really.
Fair.
Yeah. Like I'll give you a perfect example. Like most people, if they crashed their car, they would be in shambles. Like it would be like, oh my God, I have all these car payments. I have no way of getting to work. Like if I crash one of my cars, I couldn't give less of a fuck. And it's not because I don't value the vehicle or I don't value the money that went into it. It's just that why stress yourself out for something that money could solve? That was the whole reason you made money in the first place, is to solve your problems. So does money solve all problems? Of course not, but it solves all money problems, and that's where a lot of stress derives for most people.
Yeah. What's the difference between a mid-tier performer, somebody who's, making like between 5 to 15,000?
We gotta go.
Okay, answer this last one. This one's important. No. What's the difference between someone who makes, a mid-tier performer versus a top performer salesperson?
They don't train and they don't learn. Like the biggest difference that I see with most salespeople, and I've answered this question quite a bit, but it's that they're just simply not willing to put in the effort to actually improve their skill set. Because it's something that is inherently natural to people to communicate with one another, and we do it on a regular basis, people just assume they're good at it. Why would you assume that you're good at anything? In most cases, everyone is shit at everything. You have to work for a prolonged period of time in order to develop that skill set. And I think, yes, the fundamentals of just believing in your product and having conviction and doing things with integrity are going to take you a very long way in sales. There's still the element of understanding deeply elements of psychology, understanding how you could communicate your message better. Just because the intentions are there doesn't mean you communicate it effectively. So enhancing your communication capabilities and training on a regular basis, like, let's assume like a fighter. If I go into a fight and I'm losing this fight and I rewatch the footage and I'm actually seeing how I could improve my skill set and how I could stop potential blunders, and I go into my next fight and I've adjusted all of those things in training, now I'm not going to lose that fight again.
Yeah.
Most salespeople will live the same day for fucking 3-4 years in a row, where they continuously make the same mistakes and they make incremental little slight adjustments, and maybe they're a little bit better. Where you see exponential growth is where you really commit to that training element and you actually enhance your skill set by educating yourself and constantly looking at game tape footage and testing new strategies and making sure that you're continuously evolving. And I think that's where most people miss the mark. But that's everything.
Off the box.